All right, perhaps the only thing better than buying your kid a car for graduation is the fact that they won't be borrowing yours anymore. Either way, though, Kelley Blue Book's senior market analyst, Ali Gutierrez, recommends that consumers take the time to calculate how much car they can really afford before making a purchase. He joins us today to help us get the most money for what we're trying to find here. And I'm hoping he's with James Bell, our good buddy from General Motors, the head of consumer affairs there as well. Is James with you there, Alec?
Yes, he is, right here next to me.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, let's talk to both of you here. Now, you know, I've been through this with both of my kids now, buying them cars. And, of course, you talk about affordability, you talk about safety. Those are the two big concerns. So where do you want to start?
We can start with affordability. And in essence, what consumers really need to keep in mind, as you mentioned, is there's a lot more that goes into buying a car than just looking at that upfront purchase price and your monthly payment. Now, granted, a lot of folks get wrapped up in that, and they're both very, very important factors that you have to consider. But you can't ignore depreciation, the cost of fuel, maintenance, repairs, all of those other incremental costs that add up to the total ownership cost picture. Luckily for consumers, we spell all that information out on kbb.com. We have our 5-year cost to own tool, which lets you know for every new car in the marketplace today exactly what you can expect to pay over a 5-year span.
Okay, now that's really good information to have there. Now, in terms of how which cars are the safest, I know when I was trying to research that, you know, I was looking all over the web and finding conflicting information. So let's help avoid that problem for other folks here.
Well, I think the good way to do that is really twofold. Number one is going to websites like NHTSA.gov or to the IIHS website. I think about this Chevrolet Impala here in front of us. This is a car that was rated as a good crash rating for both front and side impacts. But I think when it comes to buying a car for the new graduate in your house or your children, I think it's also wise to buy a vehicle that doesn't have a lot of distractions. That's going to be safe just on its own. And so this Impala is a great buy from a safe perspective. You know, it's a kind of an older design. It's been on the road for a long time. This particular vehicle has been in GM's lineup for about 7 or 8 years. So all the bugs have been worked out, if you will. So it should be very reliable. And because there's an all-new Impala just about to come out, that also means that this particular car really has a depressed resale value. If you wanted to trade one in, it's the car you own today, well, that's not going to be great news. But if you're buying a car for the grad in your house, then this could be one of the best bargains of the year.
Boy, you make a huge point there that I had not even thought of. We just kind of assume that with new cars now, they come with more and more gadgets as standard equipment. More and more gadgets for a young driver is not necessarily a good thing. That never even occurred to me.
Yeah, I mean, some of the cars today that are really high-impact designs that are really beautiful to look at, that might have a loss in visibility. So, okay, this Impala is not going to make an 18-year-old's blood rush. It is kind of a boring car, but as the parent, that's exactly what you're looking for, right?
Boy, you're exactly right. Be the parent first, buddy later. Yeah. All right, let's talk some financing options here, and give me a few little tips here. Advice if you're internet shopping and or going into the dealership.
Sure, I think what we're finding today is that more and more consumers are doing the bulk of their research online. And really that's a trend that's going to continue. And consumers have so much information available to them. They're able to look up their trade-in value online. They're able to figure out what they're expected to pay for a new car. They can look at the 5-year cost to own like I mentioned earlier. And even just in terms of browsing listings, photos, getting reviews, videos, you can learn so much information about all the cars that are available for sale. But ultimately, there is a limit, and you have to really get to the dealership to get your hands on the product.
And then finally, you know, gas mileage is the big deal. I mean, how much do we figure that into the whole equation here?
Well, gas prices are one of the most critical components of owning a vehicle. And ultimately, it's something that you really have to consider in terms of the long-term ownership costs, like I was getting to earlier. So in essence, what you have to do is really keep in mind what you can afford and keep that into consideration as you're looking at fuel economy and shopping different segments.
All right, James, you got any other hot tips for us? I mean, you're always the guy that's got the latest and greatest stuff here.
All right, I got an idea for you then.
Okay.
So instead of giving you know, all the attention to your grad, how about Dad getting this new Regal GS?
That's what I'm talking about. I knew I could count on you, James. Talk to me now, brother.
Or how about, you know, we got a new Corvette coming out soon. That's more your style.
Beautiful. All right, guys, thank you so much. Alec Gutierrez, James Bell, always good to talk to you. Some great tips there for folks that are heading out to buy some vehicles here. It's second biggest purchase after our house in all
pleasure.
likelihood. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later on.